Okay, everyone, we are about to start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Congressman Harley Rita's Virtual Service Academy Night. My name is Alex Gonzalez. I am the Military and Veterans Liaison for Congressman Rita, and I will help moderate tonight's discussion. We know many of you have questions about joining a U.S. Service Academy, and we hope to address them here tonight. Before we get to those questions, Congressman Rita will give a few brief remarks. I will then go over the nomination selection process. Then we will show you a short video of each academy, followed by remarks from each Service Academy representative. Finally, we will close tonight's session with a question and answer section. If you have any questions that were not addressed in tonight's event, even if they are not Service Academy specific, please contact our office. We will do our best to answer your question. Congressman Ruda, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Alex, and our apologies for the technological delay in getting things started, but we are thrilled to have everyone here with us to discuss this important issue. And I also want to extend my concerns to anyone who is dealing with the pandemic firsthand, whether it's through the loss of a loved one or health issues or the multitude of other ways that it's impacting all of us in ways that we never dreamed of just 4 or 5, 6 months ago. If you do need help with addressing COVID-19, please don't hesitate to go to our website and get additional information that we have there available for you. As we move into the hosting of the Service Academy Information Night tonight, I want to thank the folks from the Service Academies who are here with us tonight to help in this process to answer any questions. And I want you to really listen closely to the information they provide. Each academy has their own admissions requirements and academic programs, and the information provided tonight is intended to give you the resources needed to begin exploring those options. My staff, Alex, will also go over the nomination selection process, which will include a review of your academics and submission of an essay and resume. This section will also cover key deadline and application changes made in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. I want you to know our review process includes an interview by a Service Academy nominations advisory panel, whom I've appointed to help make recommendations for nominations. The advisory panel is composed of alumni of the Service Academies, former commissioned officers, decorated combat veterans, community leaders, and prominent members of the defense industry. As you can see, this is a highly competitive process, and I can only nominate up to 10 students per vacancy for each academy, and the amount of vacancies obviously are small. So therefore, this process is designed to put you in a test that basically makes sure that we are selecting the most qualified applicants for a nomination to a U.S. Service Academy. Make sure the right choice for you as you go through this process, because this is a major commitment. And you want to make sure that you are prepared to meet the obligation freely and of your own free will. And I certainly challenge you to be the best you can be, and wish you all the best luck in the nomination selection process. And before I give it back to Alex, I want to compliment Alex on the incredible process he has put in place. And Alex, can you share how many successful nominations we had last time around?
We had 21 and 19 accepted their appointments.
And that, again, is a tribute not just to Alex, but the team that he has developed, and these representatives from the service academies who are dedicated to helping all of you through this process, and encouraging to do the best you can do and be the best you can be, because we want to see you succeed. So with that, I will turn it back to Alex, and I wish all of you the best of luck. Take care.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Congressman. Greatly appreciated. Next, I will be going over our Service Academy nomination process, and would like to direct your attention to the PowerPoint presentation on the next screen. Okay, everyone, thank you so much again. Once again, you are joining us for our Service Academy night. And today I'll just be going over some basic information regarding Service Academy selection process with our office, and some of the basic requirements and items you will need to submit your application successfully to our office. So the minimum nomination requirements is to be a U.S. citizen or national. You must be 17 and not yet 23 on July 1st of the year you apply. There is a difference for the United States Merchant Marine Academy, however, where you can be 25 years of age. You must demonstrate comprehensive academic preparation, demonstrate leadership in athletics or extracurricular activities. And a special note about this year's admissions process and nominations process: although our office is waiving the requirement for an SAT or ACT if you have not submitted one, please make sure you work very closely with the Academy to find out what their specific requirements are, as this year it's changed a little bit due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So please make sure you do work with your Service Academy representatives, blue and gold officers, whoever, to make sure that you are meeting those requirements. And then finally, you must be in good physical and mental health. Next, for our office, you must submit a completed application, a resume. This must include extracurricular activities, including employment, any clubs, volunteer activities, and sports teams. An essay, which consists of 500 words, and really want you to focus on, oh, excuse me, I skipped a slide. Sorry about that. So in 500 words or less, you want to explain why you want to go to a military academy. And if you have a preference for a particular academy, you could go into those details a little more in your essay. You should discuss in general what service means to you and why you should receive a nomination. It does not need to be academy specific. However, many candidates choose to write about a desired academy preference. You must submit official transcripts. This includes any college transcripts that you are currently taking. Please include the most recent grades available, and you are welcome to submit transcripts electronically as well. Letters of recommendation must come from teachers, guidance counselors, coaches, and/or employers. It is recommended that at least one letter must come from a science or math teacher. Letters from family members or friends will not be accepted. All letters must be signed and submitted in sealed envelopes. You are welcome to also have the those who are sending those recommendation letters to send emails directly to one of the provided links on our website, directly to us as well. And then a special note about this year, as mentioned earlier, SAT and SAT requirements are waived for those who are unable to get an exam and will hold no weight in the assessment process for receiving a nomination. So your first step to getting a nomination with our office is to submit the application. And this will comprise of 40% of your assessment. We will assess academic components, written communication, the essay and application material, and a character assessment on those letters of recommendation. So step 2 includes an interview assessment, which is a lot like a job interview. We go over leadership potential. Would you be a good leader in the armed forces? Motivation to serve, drive, and realistic expectations of service. Communication skills during the interview will also be assessed. Maturity and your discipline will be assessed. And your personal appearance is going to be very important. So we emphasize that you come prepared and professional to your interviews. Your personal appearance and physical appearance has a lot of weight in those assessments. Interviews are traditionally conducted at at our district office in Newport Beach. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we will be conducting those interviews online through the Zoom platform. We do anticipate setting up those interview dates December 12th and 13th. And once you submit your application, we will offer you an opportunity to schedule an interview. For those of you that have submitted applications up to this point, we will begin offering those appointments shortly within the next couple of weeks. So nominations will be announced in December 2020. And if you are nominated, a letter will be sent out to you notifying you of your nomination. We will also release a press release of all the names of the students that opted in to having their names published for the purposes of announcing it to the community. Appointees might expect a call sometime in spring 2021 if they receive an appointment from the academy. And academies make appointment decisions. Unfortunately, we do provide the nomination. It is a requirement as a part of the admissions process for the academies. But ultimately, the academies will make the final determination for your admission to the academy. And so appointees may be invited for a virtual reception with the representative if COVID-19 mitigation conditions still exist at that time. Deadline and submission information. Applications will be accepted no later than Friday, December 4th, 2020 at 5 p.m. And you can mail your completed packet to our office listed there, or you may email it to nominationscalifornia48@mail.house.gov. Oh, and one last slide I forgot to go over, excuse me. But if you are interested in learning more about our nominations process, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We have a QR code link there and also a hard link for you to follow on our website, or you can simply visit ruta.house.gov and go to United States Service Academies under the Services tab. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention to that slide. So next, we are honored to be joined by representatives from our 5 U.S. Service Academies. And first, it is my pleasure to present to you Mr. Kevin Irarte from the United States Coast Guard Academy. And first, I will now play a short video from the Academy.
Hello, I'm Rear Admiral Jim Rendon, the 41st Superintendent of the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, here to welcome you and to thank you for your interest. I returned to the academy to serve as a superintendent for the same reason I came here as a cadet in 1979. I believe in a life of purpose, and that idea inspires everyone who works and lives here. I take great pride in the Academy's mission to develop leaders of character who will devote themselves in selfless service as commissioned officers. The Coast Guard is looking for special individuals. Those who put others first have demonstrated that they will live up to the Coast Guard's core values of honor and respect and devotion to duty. If you are one of those individuals and are interested in testing your mettle, getting a great education, growing as a leader, then I hope that you will visit us soon and talk to our cadets and decide if attending the Academy is right for you too. As always, go Coast Guard, go Academy, and forever, go Bears.
Okay, Mr. Irate, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Gonzalez. And on behalf of the United States Coast Guard Academy, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. And first, what I want to say is you're going to hear from all 5 of the academies that they are the best academy. And I have to tell you that they are absolutely right. Every academy is the best, but it doesn't mean that it's the best for you. I have to confess, Mr. Llewellyn, that I'm a little torn. My oldest son will be graduating from the United States Coast Guard Academy this year. Our youngest son just entered NAPS this year, and we'll be looking forward to attending Naval Academy next year. So I feel like I should have a Coast Guard / Navy shirt on right now. But what I want to tell you, what makes the Coast Guard different than the other academies are a couple things. Number one, it's the smallest of all the academies. The class size when you enter in is below 300 people. The average in total, the size is less than 1,200 people. So you really get to know all of the cadets that are there. The class size in and of itself is about 16 cadets. The ratio of student to cadets is 8-to-1. We are the only branch of the military where all positions within the military are equally open to both male and females. We have about a 36% attendance of females, and about 38% of the cadets are minorities. 65% of all of the cadets participate in varsity level sports at the D3 level. In fact, many of them participate in several varsity sports throughout the season. It is a great family atmosphere, and then once you graduate, the Coast Guard is very humanitarian in nature, and that is that you have many different options. If you choose to go more of a military option, believe it or not, the Coast Guard does have special ops throughout the world, and there are many cutters that tour along with naval ships in the various operations throughout the world. We have the search and rescue, we have research, and so whatever your interest is, whatever your desire is, the Coast Guard can absolutely fit that for you. We have 9 majors that are at the Coast Guard Academy. The latest that we have is cybersecurity, which is becoming a very popular study for all of the academies right now. I must tell you that I'm not a graduate of the academy myself. My wife and I are parent and mission partners. As I said, my son is a 1C, a senior at the academy, and will be graduating this year. But with the few moments I have left, I do want to talk to you a little bit as parents and as potential applicants. As I said, I have a son at the Coast Guard Academy, a son at the Naval Academy Prep School, which we are hoping that he will be going to the Naval Academy next year. And what is very important is that even though you may have your mind or heart set on one of the academies, I strongly encourage you to apply to more than one academy. All the academies are great, and just because you think that one academy is right for you, I encourage you to research all of them, and you may find that there is another academy that best suits you. I can tell you my youngest son was set on going to the Coast Guard Academy. He's been there many times. His brother goes there, but the Naval Academy was really calling his heart. So I encourage you to research, and I encourage you really to apply to all of the academies. My youngest son went through a difficulty. He was medically disqualified and had to go through a medical waiver. Do not give up on the process. It may seem daunting. It may seem intimidating, and at times you may feel like you want to just quit and give up because it's too hard. But if it's something that you really want, do not give up, because you can absolutely make it happen. So I encourage you to not stop until you reach your goal. Parents, I know it is an honor to be able to say that your son or your daughter goes to a military academy. It is by far, whichever academy you choose, it is by far one of the greatest educations that you can get, but it must be their dream. It cannot be your dream. One of the biggest reasons why people leave the military academies is that it wasn't their dream. If your son or your daughter desires to go to a military academy, you support them, you encourage them, you help them, you walk with them, but you must make sure that it is their dream and not your dream. One of the unique differences between the Coast Guard Academy and all of the other military academies right now is that the Coast Guard Academy does not require a congressional nomination. Now, having said that, and assuming that you are going to apply to other military academies, if you do receive that congressional nomination, I encourage you to submit that to the Coast Guard so that they can put that in your application, because it certainly does not hurt to know that you received that congressional nomination for that. I am excited for all of you. Having gone through this process twice, I would have thought that the second time around with their youngest son, it would have been much easier for us, but I can tell you honestly, it was far more stressful and nerve-wracking waiting to get that admissions acceptance into NAPS for our son. Our oldest son got a direct commission into the Coast Guard Academy. Our youngest son got admitted into the Naval Academy Prep School. You may get accepted into one of the military academy prep schools, and for some people that is a disappointment and they get discouraged and they decide that they do not want to go into the prep school. I want to encourage you to take that opportunity to go into a prep school. My oldest son, who went direct admit into the Coast Guard Academy, has said from day one, some of the best cadets that come into the academies are the cadets that went into the prep school first and were prepared for the military academy. So if you're lucky enough to get an acceptance into a prep school, please take that opportunity, because it doesn't mean that you are any less than any of the cadets in the academies. It means that they just want to prepare you a little bit more. So I hope that you will take that opportunity seriously. I think, as the congressman said himself, you have to understand that this is not college, this is the military, and you must take that decision very seriously. One of the worst things that can happen is that you accept an admission into one of the academies and then bow out of it. And you unfortunately take that position from someone else who would like to go into the academy. So please make sure that this is what you want to do. This is not 4 years of college. This is a commitment to receiving one of the best educations in the world, but then serving your country for 5 years or 4 years if you go to a prep school. So I hope that you take advantage of this opportunity. It is an amazing opportunity. And I know I speak on behalf of the Coast Guard. I personally believe that Coast Guard is one of the greatest academies around, but they all are great. And so any academy that you apply to, any academy that you get accepted to, you will receive an amazing education, and you will be prepared for your future in life in ways that you could not imagine. If you have any questions about the Coast Guard Academy, I did put my email address on the YouTube link. I would be more than happy to talk to you. If you have questions about the medical waiver process, because in and of itself, that is a very interesting process that you have to go through. Or parents, if you just want to talk to someone who has been through this process twice, please do not hesitate to contact us. It is an exciting time for all of you. And I know that one day when you get that acceptance letter, you will see that all your hard work was well worth it. And I'm just honored and excited to be part of this. And I wish you all well. Good luck in your future. And I can't wait to hear about all the stories of how you went through the academy and served your country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Greatly appreciated. So now it is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Phil Seifert and Midshipman Bradley DeFour from the United States Merchant Marine Academy. Phil, the floor is yours. I'll leave it for you to introduce first.
Thank you, Alex. Good evening. My name is Phil Seifert. I have the privilege of being a 1962 graduate of the Merchant Marine Academy, and I'm going to split the time with Midshipman Bradley DeFore, who's on the other end where I was 62 years ago, just starting my plebe year. Let me take a few minutes up front. First of all, to say amen to all the things that Pastor Kevin said about the academies, about the opportunities, about the challenges, and to encourage you to look at all the academies, because we are all crucibles of leadership. And one of the things that, in addition to providing great technical education and community, we provide leadership training and development, so that when you come out of these 4 years, 5 years if you go to NAPS, when you come out of this, you are prepared to lead yourself, your country, your community, your family, but leadership is a developing process. Let me tell you a little bit about Kings Point. We're the second youngest of the 5 federal academies. We are also, I think, either the smallest or second smallest. We too are less than 1,000 in our regiment of midshipmen, and they're not all on campus at one time. I'll talk about that a little bit, because as it says in that one poster behind me, some of our classrooms are 500 feet long or 900 feet long and 5,000 miles at sea. And that's one of our distinctives. We're located in New York on Long Island, a short train ride, short in distance, sometimes long in hours getting into the city. We offer 2 primary areas of study: marine transportation, driving the ships, and marine engineering, making the ships go. And if you like engineering and you have a bent towards taking things apart and putting them back together, hands-on practical engineering, we offer the finest marine engineering program and training in the world. Our classrooms would see one of the unique aspects of our training program, because the Coast Guard requires 330 days of at-sea time to sit for your license in order to become a licensed deck officer or engineering officer. A half of the sophomore year, the third class year, and half of the second class year are spent at sea, not on a training ship with 200 of your closest friends, but on a ship with one other midshipman, involved in maritime commerce, sometimes Navy ships, USNS ships supporting the Navy. An incredible opportunity to travel and to get hands-on experience doing the job of a maritime officer, whether it's navigating the ships and cargo handling, or making the ships go and fixing the engines and doing all the marine engineering. We offer, one of the other distinctives of the Academy, besides our small size, is the fact that we offer the widest range of opportunities, in that Kings Point graduates at graduation are able to apply for a commission in any one of the armed forces. So Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Marines, or the NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. You graduate with a Bachelor of Science degree, a third mate or third engineer's license, and a commission, and it's your choice of service. And you will be encouraged and guided in your choice of service from there. And let's see, I think that's primarily it. The range of opportunities, not only in the service, but in the maritime industry, which is a broad, not just the seagoing part of it, but also the infrastructure at shore. I would encourage you, look closely at Kings Point. We have a lot to offer. USMMA.edu is our website. There's a lot of great YouTube videos out there. If you look at USMMA on YouTube, you may get a few mixed martial arts things in there, but some great Sea Year videos, Life at the Academy videos, and it'll give you a fairly complete picture of what's going on there. Now I'm going to turn the floor over to, or the Zoom over to, Midshipman Bradley DeFore, who is 2.5 months into his plebe year and is enjoying the time there in drizzly New York, Kings Point, New York now. So Midshipman DeFore, it's all yours.
Thanks, sir. And thank you all for joining. So as he said, I've only been here for 2.5 months, and I'm a huge voucher for the prep schools, as I was a sponsored prep last year at the New Mexico Military Institute. And those really do prepare you for the leadership and the the general work ethic that's needed here at the academies. And for the Merchant Marine Academy, it's something truly special because with the small class sizes, the class really does work all together in order to become recognized and to make it together. It's essentially like one giant functioning team than anything else, with only about 280 for the class of 2024 plebes entering into INDOC, where we are all working together in order to succeed, whether that is in classes or through the regiment life or in athletics. Everyone here is to help each other because it is ultimately a very difficult academy to make it through, but no one makes it through this academy alone. So it's one big team, and it's really just a giant family that's great to be a part of. And from alumni to plebe, everyone has that connection of being a Kings Pointer. So that it's a really special academy in respect to that. And in respect to schools in general, all the service academies are completely different. And with your friends back at home going to normal schools, you'll have a completely different life and life story than anyone else. So I definitely encourage to go all out and apply to the academies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Midshipman DeFore and Mr. Seifert. I just realized I skipped over your video, the promotional video for the United States Merchant Marine Academy. It's a great video, so I will be sharing it now for everyone to watch.
In peacetime, in wartime, every time. The U.S. Merchant Marine Academy is an essential resource, providing the highly trained men and women who help power a maritime industry that delivers the products that support our economy and transport the troops and cargo that protect our country in times of conflict. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt called the U.S. Merchant Marine the fourth arm of our national defense. And U.S. MMA graduates remain its backbone. U.S. merchant mariners carried soldiers, vehicles, fuel, and supplies during World War II, and suffered more casualties proportionately than any other armed service. Over the course of the war, 142 Academy midshipmen undergoing SEER training perished, making the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy the only service academy to be awarded a U.S. battle standard. During the Korean War, commercial ships, many with U.S. MMA graduates at the helm, transported 5 million troops and passengers, 54 million tons of cargo, and 180 million barrels of fuel. In Vietnam, U.S. merchant ships completed nearly 7,000 sealift transits and evacuated over 130,000 refugees at the war's end. And U.S. MMA graduates also played a major role in the Gulf War, helping to execute the largest, fastest, and farthest sealift to a single theater in world history. Sealifts via U.S. flagged commercial vessels continue to deliver the millions of tons of cargo necessary to support our ongoing war on terror. And over 80% of the Navy's strategic sealift officers are U.S. Merchant Marine Academy graduates, ready to lead from day one, thanks to advanced coursework and instruction, which requires a full year of training at sea. Committed to serve like other Federal Service Academy graduates, for 8 years in the Armed Forces and Reserves. Today, as political and economic threats mount in all corners of the world, and as other world powers aggressively expand their commercial and military sea power to project their influence, obligated U.S. Merchant Marine officers are more important than ever. Vital to our economy, vital to our national security, highly trained and committed to serve. Every time, everywhere.
We are the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy.
We are the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy.
We are the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, everyone. So next, I would like to introduce the United States Air Force Academy. Second Lieutenant Riley Bolton has joined us, and we'll go in order of allowing her to present first and then show the video from the Academy there. So Lieutenant Bolton, the floor is yours.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me tonight. As you said, I'm Second Lieutenant Riley Bolton. I'm from the U.S. Air Force Academy. I graduated in 2020, so just about 6 months ago. We had early graduation in April. I majored in business management, and I'm actually an admissions advisor awaiting pilot training right now, and I'll be going to Texas here this coming March for pilot training. I'm unable to share my screen currently, and I might need a co-host abilities to pull up a PowerPoint. But I'll just start talking anyway. So I want to talk about tonight how we differ from the other academies, because a lot of what you hear is the same thing over and over, and I don't want to do that. So some of the things that we do have that are all the same, though, that everybody covers is it's free. So you get paid to go to all the academies, at least I know Army, Navy, and Air Force. And we offer the most majors, I believe, out of any of the academies. So we offer over 30 majors and minors. And that also includes 92 semester hours of core classes. So you will be doing many, many core classes. That covers anything from, aero engineering, astro engineering, physics, chemistry, and also law, political science. So when you go to an academy, they want to make sure that you're well-rounded in whatever you do, as you're going to be a commissioned officer after graduation. We also offer a lot of different athletics. So we are a D1 school. So whether you come as a D1 athlete or I played both club lacrosse and club water polo all 4 years. So I was able to, travel with my teams. I practiced all week long, busy schedule. But whatever you do, it's going to be great. Even if you're not on a club team or a D1 team, you still participate in intramurals, which is once a semester with your squadron, and it covers a bunch of different sports that you're able to sign up for. Also, just like the application process, you have to take a fitness test. At the academies, you constantly have to take fitness tests. It's 2 different tests every semester, just to make sure that you're physically fit, because that's what we need our military to be. The Air Force Academy offers a lot of different things. You can do foreign exchange if you're minoring in a language, so you can go to another country for a semester. You can also go to another academy for a semester, or go to an ROTC program at a civilian college for a semester. We also have cultural immersion and language immersion programs that are similar, but usually are summer programs, so 3 to 6 weeks long. And then there's summer research, so you can work with Boeing, Raytheon, SpaceX. Those are usually 3 to 6 weeks as well. And then everybody does Ops Air Force, survival training, and a few others to take up your summer time, including basic training, of course. But when I was there, I was able to participate in JUMP, which is the skydiving, soaring, which is a glider program, and powered flight, which are our which are trainer planes. So they're single prop airplanes, and each one of them are 3-week programs. And we're the only place in the world that you can jump out of a plane, or at least in America, that you can jump out of a plane your first time solo, which is super cool. You only do 40 hours of ground training, and then you jump out. You jump out of a plane solo, which is just incredible. But it also goes to show just how great our skydiving team is. They actually they're just other cadets, and they teach you for those 40 hours. So we're located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Great place for hiking, skiing, really anything outdoors, but it's also just beautiful right up against the Rocky Mountains. So we have 35 different career fields when you graduate from an academy. About half go to pilot training. So that includes me. We did have about half of our class, like 480 out of 960, I want to say, ended up getting a pilot slot from my graduating class. So that holds true. But I really want to harp on the fact that we're now also commissioning directly into the Space Force. So the Air Force Academy is now the main feeder into the Space Force. And we're all learning about the Space Force right now too. My class was the first to graduate and commission into the Space Force. So they all got to sign a plaque, saying we're numbers 1 through 80 ever to commission the Space Force, which is super cool. But it's also a great career choice. And, I'm excited to see what goes from there. If you want more information about the Space Force, I do have a new slide deck that I've been sent to inform you guys better, but I don't have time for that tonight. So if you need that, please email me or text, call, whatever. I left my number on the YouTube link. And then 10% go to graduate school. So that includes medical school, law school, or any second master's program that you can go to after you finish your undergraduate degree at the Air Force Academy. So if you want to start your application now, or if you're going to start your application later, or if you're applying, if you ever need anything, please let me know, especially concerning SATs and ACTs. I am your person to contact. I can put notes on your application if you're unable to take an SAT or ACT. We aren't saying that we are test flexible like the other academies are saying. However, if you are unable to take a test, we are making that note on your application, and that will be just fine. So if you can't take a test, that is okay. I just need to know that. And then, but if you want to start an application, if you're going to apply next year, go to academyadmissions.com. That's the best place to start with whatever you're doing. It also helps outline all the different things that you can do at the academy, even how to take your fitness assessment, everything. There's summer seminar programs. So like they said before, I actually attended the Navy summer seminar program, and I love the Naval Academy. I was dead set. I thought I was going to Navy. I applied to Navy and Air Force and for the ROTC options as well. And I ended up at Air Force. So definitely apply. You never know where you're going to end up. I ended up loving it. And I'm glad that I went to Air Force. So you never know. Open your horizons. So for the application, just like the other academies, once again, you have to be academically, physically, medically competitive. You have to display good character and leadership throughout, what you've done in your high school career, and you have to get your nomination. So academically competitive average is 3.85. There's no GPA minimum. There's no test score minimum. Average SATs and ACTs anywhere from 630-ish to 700 range for average, and ACTs are about 26 to 34. So once again, averages, no minimums. And then over 83% that come to the academy were in the top 25% of their class. So just, keeping in mind what's competitive, make sure you're really keeping up with your grades, especially during this time with COVID. I know that's difficult. So you have to take a candidate fitness assessment if you want to get in. Like I said, that's all outlined at academyadmissions.com. It's the same for all three. I know that Navy and Army have the same test. So if you've already taken it for that, you can just send us your scores. And you have to do your physical exam through DODMERB, and they'll contact you once you finish enough of your application to get that started. Nominations, you can get it from 2 U.S. senators, a U.S. representative, and a vice president. So make sure you are applying to all 3 of those. Also, you might qualify for presidential nominations. So make sure you look that up, but don't just apply for one, even though you only need one. Apply for as many as you can. We had about 11,000 applicants last year, and we're only able to let in 1,145. So as you can see, that's it's a pretty low admissions rate. However, if you finish your application, that possibility goes up way, way further. So please finish your application when you do apply, or if you are applying. That's a huge step. It's just finishing it. And that is all I have for you tonight. If you have any more questions, please put them in the chat, or contact me afterwards at that email I provided or the number I provided. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Bolton. Very succinct overview of the process, and added some additional details in there that are very important for our applicants to understand, including nomination sources. So that's great. If anybody is interested in those emails, please, or excuse me, materials that Lieutenant Bolton was talking about, I'll be happy to connect you to her as well if you're not able to find her contact information. So thank you very much again. Next, I'll be playing a short video from the Air Force Academy. So stay tuned for that here in a short moment.
I think students who are considering attending the Air Force Academy, I think you need to think carefully about it. This is a place that has a lot to offer, but it's also not for everybody. There are a lot of challenges here that a lot of people honestly aren't up for.
Being here, I've done more than I ever thought I could ever do with my entire life. I mean, you don't realize what your limits are until you've pushed all of them and realize that you have incredible potential.
People who choose to come, the men and women I teach, for example, I mean, they're on every day.
Here at the Academy, we're training leaders, but we're also training folks to be in our military. They're getting day-to-day live experience, on-the-job experience. Some of them are jumping out of planes, flying planes, running satellites. It's a grand experience.
The benefits of a military and an academic institution are, well, I guess they're exactly what you would think. You have an academic institution. So my students are doing the same things here that they were doing at Stanford. You know, they're taking the same kinds of classes. They're just as rigorous. I mean, I can testify to that having been there. When I graduated from college, you know, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I did some of this and some of that. They know what they're doing when they graduate. And knowing what you're doing the day after you graduate really focuses you as an undergraduate. The military and the academics are separate, but they're also the same thing. They're two different ways of getting to the same point.
I know someday I'm going to have an impact on lots of people. And I love that. I'm a totally different person. I'm still me, but I'm a better me.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into that. Next, I would like to, sorry about that. Next, I would like to introduce the United States Naval Academy. Ensign Joe Llewellyn, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you, Congressman, for inviting me. My name is Ensign Joe Llewellyn. I also just graduated from the Naval Academy here in the year 2020. So recently became an officer, and I've been working in the admissions department as a temporary duty. I graduated with a major in ocean engineering, and I'm going to go on to be a surface warfare officer. So I'm actually leaving the admissions program here at the end of the week to go out to San Diego and meet up with my ship. So pretty excited about that. I rowed on the rowing team my freshman year, and then I spent the remaining 3 years playing club lacrosse. So I think that's pretty much all about me. I don't think I'm able to share my screen here, so I'm just going to kind of run us through our admissions brief that we like to give a good well-rounded picture of the Naval Academy. So here at the Naval Academy, we graduate 90% of our midshipmen every year. As just like any other academy, we're tuition free. We have 25 academic majors available, and everyone who graduates from the Naval Academy gets a commission, so they're all employed. Just like the Coast Guard Academy, we also have an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and our faculty are made up of both civilian and military instructors, which provides a lot of people to look up to and to gain knowledge from, both academically and career-wise. So we call the campus the Yard here at the Naval Academy. It's located 25 miles to Baltimore and Washington, D.C. So it's in a really good location here on Annapolis, Maryland, right on the Severn River. Everything you could possibly need is provided for you basically at the Naval Academy. We have multiple services and facilities designed to cater to midshipmen's everyday lives. We have a barbershop, laundry, post office, all the mental or medical, dental kind of stuff you would need here, as well as 22 athletic facilities. So the Brigade of Midshipmen is made up of around 4,500 people every year, and that comprises of 72% men and 28% female. It is also made up of individuals from all 50 states, as well as some territories and other foreign countries. And it's also open to prior enlisted sailors and Marines. So it's a really diverse group of individuals that you end up getting very close to throughout your 4 years here. And you really get a lot of experience, and you get to dive into a lot of diverse backgrounds as you meet your classmates. So you're here at the Naval Academy. As a broad overview, we offer a really good education. We were ranked the #1 public school in America in 2019, as well as you get a monthly pay here at the Naval Academy. Each midshipman make $1,150 monthly, which is divvied up into, you get an allowance of $125 to $600 a month, depending on what grade you're in. We have a lot of benefits. We talked about it a little earlier, but a full scholarship that includes room, board, and meals, as well as your tuition, and also medical and dental coverage, as well as any kind of anything you need to help your academic career. We issue personal laptops and books and all that stuff that you might need. We also offer many different career opportunities here at the Naval Academy. There's multiple different service selections that you can go into, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. So we have 25 majors. I said earlier that I was an ocean engineer major, and but we also offer a lot of mathematics and science majors, as well as humanities and social sciences majors. And along with that, we do have many language minors available that you can pair up with whatever major you're interested in. So we have a saying here at the Naval Academy that every midshipman is a student athlete, and this holds true whether you're a varsity athlete or a club athlete, or you're an intramural athlete. And so varsity and club are kind of self-explanatory, but our intramural athletes they're sports teams made up of company mates that then compete against other companies, and they usually get to go on to a full-on championship that we have here at the Academy for each sport, which is a lot of fun. It keeps a lot of competition and going throughout the brigade. And we here at the Naval Academy really get into which company's winning and who's doing the best in the intramural side of things. So to talk briefly about the application process, it's going to be very similar to what Second Lieutenant Bolton went over with the Air Force Academy, because it's kind of, there's a lot of similarities across the board. But an application to an academy has several parts, and it all starts with the preliminary application. Now, this is something you would fill out if you wanted to go to our summer seminar, which is an outreach program that allows you to spend a week your junior year summer. It allows you to come for a week and kind of get to see the academy from a different light, because you're staying here and you're participating in different activities, and you get to experience a little bit of what the plebes go through and stuff like that. But that will be your preliminary application. And then you're going to have the standard personal data record statement kind of section, which is going to have your essays and just other background information about you. You're then going to need to complete a candidate fitness assessment, and we'll go over a little bit more what that entails. But after that, you're going to have a blue and gold officer interview. And so every applicant has a blue and gold officer assigned to them, and they're going to conduct an interview with you that is part of the application process. Then you're going to need a couple of recommendations from some of your high school teachers, as well as a nomination, which is kind of why we're here with the congressman's nominational process. But there are multiple different avenues to get these nominations. And like Second Lieutenant said, I also encourage you to go and try to get multiple different nomination sources. That way you increase your odds of getting one for the academy that you want to go to. So we went over the multiple different steps to obtaining an appointment to the Naval Academy. What this does is it takes our initial pool of 16,000 applicants who start the preliminary application, and by the time you finish all those different steps, you really only if you complete your application, you're really only competing with a pool of 3,400 for an appointment, and we end up accepting 1,100 every year. So just by completing your application, you're giving yourself a very big advantage on actually getting here and being able to become a midshipman here at the Naval Academy. So if you do complete the application and you end up not getting in, the admissions board has the opportunity to offer you a spot at the Naval Academy Preparatory School or a foundation program. And what this is it's an extra year of schooling, either at the prep school or a different college that's usually picked by the Naval Academy. And once you complete that year, you will receive an appointment to the Naval Academy. So just a bit of advice for the admissions process. You really want to have a strong foundation in math and science. So algebra, geometry, trigonometry, pre-calculus, and calculus are pretty important, as well as chemistry and physics, because these are going to be classes that you'll take at your plebe and youngster years or your freshman and sophomore years here at the academy. And so showing the fundamentals of these classes is really going to help you be competitive in the process. We don't have a minimum GPA requirement. However, we do really look and hope that you're in at least the top 20% of your high school class. To touch briefly on the SAT and ACTs, we are willing to work with you if you're struggling to be able to take those tests with the coronavirus. We understand people are going through a lot of different things right now, and so if that is an issue for you to take those tests, please reach out to your admissions officer or just the admissions program itself and explain your situation, and we'll do our best to work with you on that. Other than that, we really encourage AP or honors courses, as well as just being a well-rounded individual. There's not one thing that's going to really guarantee that you're going to get into the Naval Academy, but the best tip for success is to show that you have participated in both academics and on-academic, like after-school activities, as well as you want to demonstrate some leadership potential. So whether that be in sports or others, service areas you might be participating in after school, we're really interested to see that you're demonstrating at least some leadership in those areas. So to kind of wrap it up, to go over just the top 5 reasons to go to the Naval Academy is you got a full scholarship, guaranteed employment with a commission in the Navy or Marine Corps. We have a great location here for the Naval Academy here in downtown Annapolis, as well as we spend all 4 years really developing your leadership and character. And you take classes to help with that, as well as it's just ingrained into you over the 4 years of how to be a person of character. We also have a 90% graduation rate. So we really, this goes back to the 8-1 faculty ratio. We really make sure that you're getting the help you need academically, physically, and morally throughout those 4 years to make sure that you're ready to graduate and become an officer in the Navy or Marine Corps. So there are many, many support structures in place to help you through your day-to-day basis and make sure you're getting everything you need to be successful. And that's going to really wrap up my presentation. Unfortunately, I couldn't share with you the PowerPoint, but hopefully that got enough information across. And if you have any questions, I look forward to hearing them and doing my best to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ensign Llewellyn. Do apologize for the advanced technical difficulties that we've been experiencing tonight, but I'm sure he will forward that information to us. And if you're interested in getting those materials and resources, certainly don't hesitate to contact our office. We will be conduits in making sure you get that information. So now I will present a video from the United States Naval Academy.
Here for a reason. The reason being like serving people who have served, just doing your duty.
I'm here because of my family, to see how successful they are, but looking back, now my decision is that I'm here because of the people that I'm surrounded with and the opportunity that it has given me and will give me in the future.
I definitely feel as though I'm here for a reason.
After thinking about why I stayed and thinking about the things that I'm going to be able to do in the future, I truly believe that everyone here, not just myself, is meant to be leading other people.
Every person that's ever come here and graduated from here, innately, they have a sense of doing something for the fellow man. When I came back from my youngster cruise, and I went home, and all of my friends were drinking beer, seemed to have no direction in life. It was pretty discouraging to see that they seemed to have slipped back in life. And when I came back here, we all kind of aggregated in one room, and we're all sitting there. And it's then, it was like an epiphany to me. This is where I belonged.
I would tell people that the Naval Academy and then the Navy have really given me everything that I've ever had in my life.
You come back and you realize that this 4 years was really critical in your character development. And I think we all owe a certain degree of our loyalty, riches, and our respect for what this great academy represents.
I'm a first sort of generation military person, but I think just the way I was raised, just with like an appreciation for this country, the best experience I've had in my life is to run out behind that American flag and be ready to play a lacrosse game representing the United States Naval Academy, and particularly all those who have served and have come before us and worn that uniform as well.
I definitely had a little chip on my shoulder to be the first girl in my family to maybe hop in at this place. My great-grandfather, he was an aviator. My grandfather, he was submarine captain. He graduated in 57. And then my father graduated in 84. Seeing my dad, grandfather, and great-grandfather, what they did, it was just always cool.
The Naval Academy is the premier branded institution for leadership that is second to none. And the private philanthropy that the Naval Academy Foundation has provided it over the last 18 plus years in the current format has yielded $700 million in resources for the Naval Academy above and beyond government funding. And the current campaign will yield hopefully over $400 million in new resources beyond government funding.
The government will fund this institution to a good level. Good's not good enough when you're confronted with the risk our graduates will face in their careers. That margin of excellence is provided by private philanthropy. Priorities of this campaign are cyber, international programs and staffing, and athletics, and of course, character building. And these are aspects that are going to differentiate our graduates collectively and individually in the fleet and in the civilian world.
To yield leaders in the current 21st century that are able to perform at the top of the pyramid, you have to create Renaissance leaders for command in the Navy and Marine Corps that can deal with the multivariate world that we're in.
We want mental toughness. We want physical toughness. We want them to be able to understand what it means to win, and we want them to understand the agony of defeat, so to speak. We need the very best facilities and the best coaches to be able to lead them through that. And we have that today. And a lot of that's due to the support of our alumni and to the support of our foundation.
I am so committed to the athletic side of it because, one, I was a jock myself. I was an athlete here. Why is that important? I've seen it throughout my career in the 32 years on active duty. It's some of the things you learn on the playing field. You learn discipline. You learn perseverance. You learn hard work. You learn teamwork. You learn leadership.
Our admissions program is also supported by private efforts. I'm very sensitive to getting applicants from every corner of the country. I'm from the south side of Chicago. We raise money for the Naval Academy to recruit the best and brightest from all nooks and crannies of the country, whether it be the south side of Chicago or the hills of West Virginia.
Being the first one out of my family to attend college. My mother comes to all my track meets. I definitely see it in her face every time I win a race. She cried. Her emotion fills me, and she really gets me on drive. I've persevered through many challenges while here at the Naval Academy. I'm really excited going into the fleet, choosing a service select surface warfare officer. I want to be there for my people. I want to help uplift them.
I put Marine Ground as my first preference.
I try to be the best person I can be. Just like anything I do, I want to be the best at, and I'm thinking about doing Marine Ground.
P8SR, it's basically an airline plane. They're continuously doing anti-submarine warfare, anti-drugs, which I thought this was really cool because they're active.
Explosive ordnance disposal community. It's a bunch of men and women who are focused on being selfless.
They need to have the very best education, the very best facilities, and the very best opportunity to be able to develop into leaders. These are the leaders that will take our country into the 21st century.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to our presentations. Lastly, we do have a video from the United States Military Academy. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, the representative for the United States Military Academy at West Point was unable to join us. So now I'll be presenting that video now and wrapping things up.
For combat. You didn't come here to play ping pong. You came here to learn how to fight, and fight you will. You are this nation's next greatest generation. You're an amazing group of people. You possess the same confidence, the same compassion, and the same character as those who have gone before you in the long gray line here at West Point. Among you is a future president, senator, or members of Congress and captains of industry, entrepreneurs and scientists. But most importantly, among you are our future platoon and company and battalion, brigade, division, and corps commanders. And each of you will be taking a lifelong oath no matter what the pressure, no matter what the cost to yourself, your career, or even your life, you must never waver. Your confidence, compassion, and character are going to be tested. You're going to operate in unbelievably miserable and Spartan conditions. And you're going to make decisions in incredibly morally ambiguous situations. And you're going to be fighting against a dedicated, ruthless enemy who is going to give you no quarter. But like those that came before you, you're going to prevail. And you will win.
All right, everyone. Thank you again to all of our presenters for being here tonight and going over the experiences and admissions process for each of your academies. Now I would like to open the floor to the question and answer section of this portion. I see some of our participants are in YouTube now, and I would like to now direct your attention to the chat box to the right of your screen. Please feel free to submit your questions now, and we will leave the floor open for just a couple moments to start answering some of your questions. So let's just give it a couple more moments to populate a question or two, and we will begin the question and answer session. All right. Just waiting for the first few to pop up here now. Okay, once again, if you're joining us, we have ended our presentations and we are now in the question and answer section of the Service Academy night. Okay, perfect. Our first question comes from AJ Panella, and his question is, can I drop off my application at your office, or do you prefer mail? Thank you very much, Mr. Panella. Very much appreciate it. Currently, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, our office is closed for normal business. We are only meeting with constituents virtually and adhering to the guidelines provided by the House Physician to remain at maximum telework orders. However, we will meet with candidates on a case-to-case basis depending on their situation. If you simply feel more comfortable dropping it off, we'll have to arrange for that in advance. But we do prefer and are urging applicants to mail it in. The mail is reliable. We have been receiving applications. In fact, we received just 7 over the weekend, and they are coming in. So given the concerns that have been reported earlier at the post office, we are remaining cognizant of those. However, we are urging you that it is okay to mail those in or to submit an electronic copy. Okay, so if you have any particular questions about that or requests, don't hesitate to send me an email and I'll be happy to address those. Our next question comes from Jason Quimby. Can one receive a nomination from Congressman Ruda to multiple academies at once, say United States Air Force Academy and United States Naval Academy? Mr. Quimby, excellent question. The answer is yes. You can receive nominations for 2 service academies, however, or more. However, that will be largely dependent on the material you submit for your application and the items that you discuss in there, as well as the application process. So our board-appointed Service Academy Nominations Advisory Panel, as the Congressman highlighted earlier, those are the people who will be looking at your qualifications and making the final assessment for recommending a nomination to the Congressman. So if you are qualified and you do meet those requirements and do satisfy the board's assessment of your application, then you may receive those 2 nominations. Okay. Our next question comes from Corey De Leon, and her question is it possible to tour a campus at this point? I think this would be better suited for one of our academy representatives to answer. And I'm not sure who the best one to go with is, but I think I'll try and see if one of the admissions officers or admissions representatives from the Air Force or United States Naval Academy can quickly speak to that.
Yes, sir. This is from U.S. Air Force Academy. We're not offering in-person tours currently, but we do have online tours. But just because of COVID and keeping cadets safe and faculty safe, we can't do in-person tours. And I think that that's the same for all academies right now. So if you go online to our website, you can do virtual tours. And we actually host tours 2 to 3 times a week with just other admissions advisors like myself. And they stay on for another hour afterwards to answer any questions or concerns that people have. So you can sign up for those on our website as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate those responses, Lieutenant. So it does appear that many of the academies are closed. Phil or Mr. Urarte, if you're able to chime in here and speak to that as well.
The Merchant Marine Academy, Alex, I know they're kind of maintaining a bit of a bubble, so restricted access. There are good YouTube videos of the Academy, and the superintendent is having a periodic discussion of things going on at the Academy that are also published on YouTube. And I'm sure Midshipman DeFoor can confirm that it's kind of in a lockdown status. I don't think they're even allowing Liberty out of on the weekends anymore, especially for the plebes. I know they don't get it until they get recognized next spring, but yeah, that's it's somewhat restricted.
Yes, in behalf of the Coast Guard Academy as well, although the cadets do have limited liberty on the weekends, the academy itself is essentially shut down. I do believe, though, they are giving virtual tours of the academy, and particularly if you are talking to any coaches about sports, I think they're doing special types of virtual tours for the athletes and some of the sport teams as well. But as of right now, they're very much limiting the access onto the academy.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for answering those.
Sir, to chime in a bit,
go ahead.
The Naval Academy is starting to do small by invite tours, and I know for the rest of this month we're all booked up. But as the months go on, we're trying to expand those, how many people can come on and what we can do that. So just keep an eye out for the Naval Academy. We are working towards getting back more open while still maintaining all the safety guidelines.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in and providing those answers. So as everyone heard, with the pandemic still very much in progress, those tours are on a case-by-case basis, but certainly reach out to the admissions officers at the academies and see if you're able to schedule one. Okay, the next question we have is from Damian Lee, and his question is, will the interview be in person or virtually? Excellent question, Mr. Lee. Thank you very much for providing that to us. The interview will be virtual. We will be setting up the first of those scheduling interviews at the beginning of November. You will be offered time slots for December 12th or 13th. And from that period, it will be on a rolling basis as applications are turned in. So at the beginning of November, we anticipate reaching out to you so that you can begin scheduling those interviews. Okay. So next question we have here is from Jason Quimby. And Mr. Quimby writes, sorry, will the ACT have any weight at all on the application? Mr. Quimby, thank you very much for your question. A little bit earlier in the presentation, we discussed the application requirements for the office. This year, because of the impacts that happened due to COVID-19, we did observe a large number of our applicants affected by being unable to take those tests. So we are waiving the requirement for SAT or ACT. You don't even have to submit one, but if you do submit one, it will only be used as reference for the Service Academy nominations panel to review, and it will hold no weight in the assessment whatsoever. Okay, so thank you very much for those questions. I will give it about a minute or two for any other questions to pop into the queue. And right now I don't see any more. It looks like we've addressed everybody's questions, but once again, I'll just give it a minute or two for folks to address their questions. And going once, going twice, and I don't see any further questions. So with that said, everyone, thank you so much for attending our Service Academy night and for tuning in to learn more about the application process and receiving your nomination. A lot of detail was covered over this presentation, so if you missed anything or have any specific questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our office and we will be happy to connect you with the right answer or with the right person. So thank you all very much for attending. We wish you the best of luck in the nomination process, and we certainly look forward to reviewing those applications. So thank you very much and have a great evening.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.